New music from Lucero, Raining for Weeks, and joining me on the telephone right now is Ben Nichols from Lucero. Hello, Ben.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Real good, real good. As I said, thanks for taking some time with us. I guess this afternoon
yeah, my
for
pleasure.
you, evening for us here in the Netherlands. But yeah, Raining for Weeks is a song we can relate to here in the Netherlands because we get that quite a bit. Weeks, months.
For sure.
All the time.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You've been over here a few times, I know.
Thanks for playing that one.
Yeah, of course. New album's coming out. Should have learned by now. 1 month from today. We got exactly a month from now. We'll be able to hear the rest of it. That I don't know if that was the third. You just released Making If We Make It, which I'm going to play when we're done chit-chatting here a little bit. But yeah, you've released
awesome.
3 or 4 tracks off the new album. How's it feeling? What are you thinking? Are you getting excited now, a month away from the new release? Do you get excited about new releases anymore after all these years?
I do. Yeah, it's still a whole lot of fun. And yeah, it just takes so long to get vinyl records pressed that from the time you announce the album release until you can actually release it, it seems like it takes forever. So yeah, we've been releasing a single kind of every month since we announced the new album. So I guess we released By a Little Time, and then something else, and then Raining for Weeks, and now Making If We Make It. And yeah, so far so good. Everybody seems to be liking this stuff. We've been playing some of the songs live, and they're real fun in a live setting, and the crowd seems to get it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to everybody hearing the whole album.
Good. Full disclosure, I'm a huge fan. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
You don't have to forgive me if I fanboy out on you a bit during our talk.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah. I appreciate it.
It seems like you're sonically, the voice, how you're recording or producing the voice on the last few albums. It's an evolving thing. And you guys, of course, through all your albums over the years have kind of evolved with the sound and done different things.
Sure.
But it seems like you're zeroing in on this. I'm not a musician, so I can't describe it as well as you could, but a tonal kind of quality with how you do the lyrics on the recorded stuff. Am I imagining this, or is this true at all?
It's yeah, I guess it's evolved. I mean, yeah, I've been singing in Lucero for over 20 years now, like coming up on 24 years or something insane. And so yeah, when I go back and listen to those early recordings, I sound like a baby to myself. I just it sounds odd to me almost. And I was definitely pushing those vocal cords pretty hard in the early days, just like really screaming my brains out, and kind of, I don't think it was really singing. It was just kind of screaming in key with the song.
Okay.
Even the softer, slow stuff, I was still screaming. And it was, as I've gotten older, I've learned that it hurts to sing that way, especially for 20 years. And so I've tried to kind of, I don't know, be nicer to my vocal cords, and I've tried to find a way to sing as I grow older that's still true to Lucero and true to myself, but it's just maybe a little more laid back and a little easier on my throat and on my system. And so yeah, it has evolved over the years, but to be honest, I'm liking the way my voice sounds now more than ever. I think after 20 some odd years, I'm actually kind of doing it the way I want to do it, instead of just kind of, throwing it on the record as is and not really thinking about it. Yeah, I'm kind of getting to the point where I actually can stand to listen to my own voice now.
Okay. Well, we're digging it for sure. Should have learned by now. The new album, 1 month from today, going to be available, and I love the artwork on this one. It's got all you guys in. I wouldn't say it's Dia de los Muertos, but you're all skin and bones, basically.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, I drew all those.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask. That was going to be my next question. Who's behind the artwork? You did this.
Yeah, we needed something, everything, like we'd get an email from the management or whatever saying, oh, we need artwork and we need it like 2 days ago. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And so, I just kind of threw it together real fast. I found an old photograph of Brian Venable, my guitar player, and we'd gotten dressed up to go to a punk rock prom way back in the old days, probably 1999. And so we got our fancy hats and our suits on. And I found this photograph, and just putting on a black background and kind of tracing some skulls on top of it. I don't know. It was a real simple process, but it seemed like a good idea, and I like the way it came out. The whole record kind of has a rock and roll vibe to it, and so I think the cover kind of goes along with that attitude, with that idea.
All right, I'm looking forward to the merch from it, because
it should all look cool.
I'm an old rock and roll guy too, so I love me some skulls. You can't go wrong. Throw some skulls on something, and
can't go wrong.
There you have it.
Exactly.
Ben Nichols.
Lucero hasn't done a lot of skulls in the past. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I can't recall a lot of skulls either. So cool. It's Ben Nichols from Lucero joining us on the phone here on the Real Country Revival. We talked a little bit about the sound of your voice. I won't say maturing, but evolving as the career has gone on. What about the lyrical content over the last few albums? From autobiographical or some stuff to more completely fictionalized, and now where you're at and what we can look forward to hear besides the singles we've already kind of got to check out on the new album, lyrically.
Right. Lyrically, the new record is not quite as, it's a little more, I don't know, it's not quite as serious and as the last couple of albums. Among the Ghosts and When You Found Me, we're both kind of, darker in tone and theme. And this one is more just kind of, kind of old school drinking songs and fun rock and roll songs. And so the lyrics are a little more lighthearted on this new album. The first song I wrote for the record was One Last F You. And the title alone kind of sums up the attitude of the whole album. It's a little, there's nothing too precious about this record. It's just kind of a straight ahead, kind of goofy rock and roll record. But it's a lot of fun to play and sing these songs. Over 20 some odd years, the lyrics have, they're all pretty personal, even till today. I've tried to get better at writing songs that aren't just autobiographical, and I've tried to kind of become better at the craft of songwriting and writing outside of my own experience. And sometimes that's successful, and sometimes it's not as easy for me. It's tough. But with songs like The War is an old song about my granddad,
sure, or
The Bike Riders, which is based on a book of photographs, and stuff like that. I think I did an okay job. But most of even with stories about other people, I usually try to find some kind of personal connection to it. And so, the lyrics are still pretty close to my personal experience. And I don't know.
Straight up,
I think the lyrics have stayed the same.
Yeah, straight up rock and roll, kind of fun. Lucero record to go see you guys perform live is going to be something I'll look forward to very much. So these will make great songs to sing along to in the bars, and they're real fun to play live. There's more upbeat stuff on this album, so it should make for a pretty good live show. And you guys, for maybe people aren't as familiar with Lucero, you guys have stayed together over the years and not driven each other crazy. How is it at this point? Like a family, like a brotherhood, like a friends, like how is the relationship sustained over all these years? We learned a long time ago how to give each other space, I guess. You know when to walk away. You know when to let the argument go, even when you're right. You learn to gracefully lose an argument,
even when you know you're right. That's the best way to stay together. You got to compromise it from time to time. So yeah, it's kind of like a family. I like all my guys. I love all my guys. And yeah, I'm glad I'm amazed that we're still together. I'm glad we can still do what we're doing. I couldn't have done it without them. So yeah, I'm glad we found a way through. Yeah, we've had our ups and downs and rough times here and there, but I think it sounds cliche and silly, but I think we all just have such a good time playing, and we really do not want to ever get real jobs. We're so scared of getting real jobs that we'll sacrifice and compromise, and we'll put up with each other. Exactly, just to not get a real job. So yeah, we have strong incentive to make it work.
I got another question. It's kind of speaking of like cliche and kind of tired. And if you don't even want to talk about it, you can just be like, that's stupid. And it probably is. But
what you got?
I'm curious about this idea. Artists, to make good art, they have to be these suffering, heartbroken,
right,
down and out kind of people. And then if you get your life together and kind of get maybe happily married and have a family and everything's looking good,
sure,
then you can no longer, reach those artistic heights. And now I think obviously I don't know you any better than a stranger on the street, but you seem to be pretty good on that side of things.
Yeah.
How have you felt it evolve with how you create your art?
I don't know. I think I used to think that way, that you had to live the songs if you were going to write them. And I don't know. Townes Van Zandt is kind of the, or Graham Parsons, or I don't know, or even, Keith Richards, who happens to still be alive. But those guys lived, hard lives, and they really, I don't know. And they made great art, but I don't think those two things are necessarily. I don't think one comes from the other necessarily. Maybe I used to, but it's too hard to live like that, and I didn't want to kill myself. So yeah, I got married. I found a lady that would put up with me, and I've got a little baby girl, and so yeah, I'm in a much happier place now than I was for the first 15 years of the band's existence. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's allowing me to keep going. I think we might not have made it this far if I wouldn't have found my family. But then I actually wrote Among the Ghosts, that whole album. I wrote that right after I got married. And that's kind of overall my favorite album. Like if someone was going to say, where should I start with Lucero? I've never heard Lucero. What album should I listen to first? I would tell them to go listen to Among the Ghosts.
Okay.
I think it's got a great balance of kind of older sounding stuff and newer sounding stuff, and I think the songwriting on it is some of my favorite. And I wrote that after I got married and had a baby, so I was in a pretty good spot, and I wrote my favorite album. So I don't know. I'm not sure what old school Lucero fans would think, but that's where I stand.
Yeah, I think, and you've talked about this in other interviews and stuff. I think your fans, myself included, as I disclosed earlier, I think we go along with the ride, the evolution with you guys. And I think true fans of a band are gonna. I couldn't imagine, someone having to get glued into one sound and do that for, like you said, your whole career, and having quote unquote fans being mad if you. I don't know.
Right.
Put some saxophone in when you don't do that, or do something different with your voice on the recordings. Sure. What are you doing? I can't imagine.
Right.
So
yeah, no, it's I don't know, and I'm glad those folks like those albums, and I like those albums still, and we play something off of every album almost every night. We play stuff from the whole catalog, so I still love those old songs, and they still mean a lot to me when I sing them. And so I'm glad folks like those, but I do appreciate the fans that are along for the whole journey. Because yeah, I think we're still, the stuff I'm making today, the songs I'm writing, and the way we're playing live. I think we're doing some of the best stuff we've ever done. And so yeah, it would be a shame for folks not to be able to, follow along with that and appreciate that too. I don't know. I understand liking the old stuff, but being open to the new stuff is important.
Yeah, that's it. And music in general, you know, I do a lot of classic country, of course, on the show, and people don't realize that there's so much new, good stuff. They don't have to just be listening to Waylon and Willie and Johnny Cash. There's other artists out there if they're just to open their, you know, ears up. And I think it's the same with the band, you know.
Definitely. No, we've been lucky. We've been on tour with a bunch of great folks, and I've met a lot of great musicians in the past. Folks that say, you know, there's been no good music since, you know, the 70s or whatever, right. They're just not paying enough attention. We're taking, on this next little run we're going out on here in the States, we're taking a guy named Justin Wells with us, and he's from Kentucky. Yep. And, he's just one of those young guys doing a very classic country type sound, but he's doing it really well. It all comes down to the songwriting, and if the songs are there and the guys are, you know, are really singing their heart out, it's it's there. It's important, and it's I don't know. They're carrying on the tradition in a great way. Agreed. Should Have Learned by Now is the new Lucero album. 1 month from today, February 24th, we're going to be able to get it and check it out. And then I don't want to take too much of your time, Ben. Thanks a lot, Ben Nichols from Lucero, joining us on the phone. Touring. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And touring. You got you've been on the road in the U.S., of course, and I see a London date here later on in June. Yeah. And then something in we've got London and Spain, exactly. Maybe we could get to the Netherlands as well. I would love to come back to Amsterdam. We'll see what can come together. We'll see what we can afford. But I would love to come back. If we don't make it in June, hopefully we can come back sooner rather than later. Yeah, I hope so as well. It's been a while since you've been. It has been. Since you've been over. Yeah. Yeah, the pandemic kind of slowed us down a little bit. Yeah, that's the truth. And thanks for your stuff you did through the pandemic. It kept me and others some good company. You guys doing those live streams and all that stuff. What a crazy time. Hopefully, man, I appreciate it. We never get back to that. They were fun, and it kept us afloat too. So we've got to say thank you to all the fans that tuned in, because we weren't working much. We were recording here and there, but those internet shows, those literally paid our bills and kept us going. So yeah, it all worked out. Yeah, I got my posters and all that stuff. You need to get back over here so you can sign them for me. Deal. Right. I'll do it. All right, Ben Nichols from Lucero. One of my favorite bands of all time, joining us on the phone. It's been a pleasure, Ben. Thank you for taking the time. Very much looking forward to the new album, Should Have Learned by Now, 1 month from today. We're going to be able to check it out in its entirety, and we're going to check out the latest single. I think this one just came out, this past Friday or something, right? Making If We Make It? Making If We Make It. And I heard you're saying you were supposed to get to Macon, Georgia for a show, and there was a hurricane or something, and you dropped that line. Yeah. Tell a little bit. Go ahead and retell that story for those that hadn't heard it about this latest song. Yeah, latest song's called Making If We Make It. We were on tour. This is way back, 8-9 years ago. We were on tour. We were in Georgia, and there was a hurricane coming in and hitting the coast of Georgia, and we were leaving in the middle of the night on our way to Macon. But we weren't sure if we were going to beat this hurricane or not. And somebody asked me where the next show was. I was like, Macon, If We Make It. And that line stuck with me, and ended up in this rock and roll song you're about to hear. Very good. We're going to play it right now. Ben, take care of yourself. And man, I appreciate it. A lot of success. You're now officially a friend of the show. So when you do get back over to the Netherlands, we'll hopefully hook up again. Sounds like a deal. Thank you so much for talking to me. All right. Take it easy. All right.